In this video, we're talking about all things mid frequencies, so what they sound like, what to look out for, and some of the best practices. So if you're stoked for that, let's dive in. All right, so let's move on to the mids, which is about 500 hertz to 1 kilohertz, and let's listen to what that sounds like. So notice that we get a ton of that snare sound now. We also get a ton of the high end attack of the piano and the lead line as well. And that flute, the airiness of the flute is just starting to come in as well. So we find all of those within this frequency range. When we get this high up in the frequency spectrum, we're not really affecting any fundamental frequency of an instrument. We're more so shaping and forming the higher harmonics to really add character or reduce things that are annoying within our sounds. So just a quick little side tangent about what harmonics are, as well as a fundamental frequency. So if you have any sound that is ringing, let's say we have a bell and we ring it, there's going to be a core frequency at which it is vibrating. So let's say it's something like 300 hertz. And that would be its fundamental frequency. If you were to cut out that fundamental frequency of that bell with an EQ, you would lose all of the sound pretty much, right? You would lose the core component of what the sound is composed of. And what a harmonic is are just multiples of that fundamental frequency. So you would go up to from 300 hertz to 600 hertz, then to 900 hertz, then to 1200 hertz, onward and upwards up the frequency spectrum. And these upper harmonics of a sound is what gives a sound its character. It's what makes a piano sound different to a guitar, even though they're playing the same note. Knowing this, when you're EQing an instrument, you might want to boost some of the higher harmonics instead of just boosting the fundamental to really bring out a bouquet of frequencies with a sound. And the flip is true as well, is that if you want to cut a problematic frequency, you could also cut the harmonics of that problematic frequency to help smooth the cut and make it sound a little bit more natural. So boosting this area around 1K or 2K can really increase the string sound, the attack of a bass guitar. You can also cut this area to remove that nasal quality out of those vocals. And this can add presence to something like an acoustic guitar or your piano, especially if you had to cut out some of those low end frequencies from a piano part. And when we start talking about this 1K to 2K range, we start talking about attack and presence. We might look for this in our drums, even in our vocals, our guitars, but this area can quickly become harsh and fatiguing if we boost it too much or if there's too much frequency information in that area. That wraps it up for this video, and in the next video we're talking about all things high frequencies, so how they sound like, the language we use around those frequencies, and some of the most common things to look out for, the best practices. If you haven't already, definitely check out the Audio Issues EQ. The link is in the description down below, and until the next time, I will see you in the next video.